Europe and the US have expressed their willingness to return to talks with Iran over its controversial nuclear program. But despite that, the EU is seemingly still set to approve an embargo on Iranian oil. France even says the time to avoid military intervention is running out fast. As for the US, this week it strengthened its presence in the region by sending a second aircraft carrier to the Arabian Sea. It's reportedly planning to sail through the Strait of Hormuz, which Iran has threatened to block in response to sanctions. The strait is a strategic waterway, which the majority of oil exports from the Gulf to the west pass right through. Now let's discuss the situation around Iran and possible ways out of the crisis with author Michael Winter, now joining us live from Boston. Thank you for coming on the program here at RT today. Many say the commotion surrounding Iran's nuclear program is actually being hyped up here. Do you think Tehran can do anything to convince the world it's not aiming to create a bomb?
Well, I believe one possible scenario, and of which I'm sure there's many, would be to promote a television show, and it seems a bit far-fetched, I know, but the way would be to propose a television show for Iran to create a show that would prove to the world that they're really not seeking nuclear weapons. I would say that Iran has a right to nuclear power. What they're trying to do is create nuclear power for their country, which they could sell excess power to African countries. Another point is they could take away the power of the mainstream media in America by using this show, because the media in America, Americans believe whatever comes on the television. They believe what mainstream media tells them. If Iran were to take the initiative and try to create a show that is monitored by the IAEA and let them go everywhere, let the cameras follow, let Iran prove to the world that they're not seeking a nuclear weapon.
So, I mean, as you say, as you suggest, the creation, the invention of a program by Iran to allow people to, almost in one way or another, to inspect for themselves, to follow IAEA inspectors to various nuclear plants. I'm looking at a recent article that you penned where it says that the current mainstream media mantra in the US is that Iran is trying to produce a bomb, that they need to be stopped with the elections coming up soon in America. A lot of the Republican presidential candidates are again hammering this home, that Iran is a threat to all people's security. The IAEA has allowed many inspections to be performed. They've signed no less than 3 agreements to not develop nuclear weapons. If indeed there was this television program put in place, let's imagine your idea were actually put into fruition. What extent do you think it could actually do to change the government's policies? Most people didn't view Libya as a threat.
Well, I agree with you. I'd say that as far as changing, I think this all has to do with perception. You know, the mainstream media in America has created the perception that Iran is trying to create a bomb, in which case they're going to go and blow up Israel or whoever, basically Israel. And that's completely insane, because Iran is well aware that they're going to be nuked out of existence if they go and try to do that. Go on.
Well, I'm sorry, if I can just jump in here just for a moment as well. What would you propose what you propose rather would take a while to implement? The EU, for the meantime, is set to decide on this embargo on Iranian oil just next week. Tehran has been threatening to block the Strait of Hormuz if indeed the sanctions are put in place. If the sanctions go ahead, what kind of response do you expect from Tehran? It might almost fall into the hands of Israel and America, perhaps, who are stationing their troops all along the area.
Yeah. I think that ultimately, in a quick answer, I don't think that Iran will block the strait. And the reason I believe that is because if they do that, the U.S. has made it very clear that they're not going to allow that to occur. I think that Iran's going to step back, and they're trying to put off as long as they can what I'm almost considering to be an inevitability. We go back to the PNEC conference of 2000, where the United States, that's Progress for a New American Century, I believe, they were going in and they had a hit list of countries that they wanted to take down and install regime changes in. Iran is the last one. We've already got all the other, Libya took place, Egypt took place, Tunisia, going on with Syria right now. I don't think that Iran will block the strait. I think hostilities are going to happen regardless, though, because I believe the U.S. is just itching to do this. And while this television program may be a good idea to prove to the world that Iran is not seeking nuclear weapons, I think that the ultimate goodness out of this would be Iran, or the United States would lose its force. It would lose its momentum if Iran could prove that they're not. And the U.S. would have to step back, take a look, and try to come at Iran from a different angle, which ultimately it just buys time for Iran.
Well, indeed. I mean, as you say in your article, the wind needs to be taken out of the warmongering sails of Congress and the Obama administration. No wind and no movement of the ships of war. Michael Winter, I'm afraid, I wish we had more time. That's all we have for today. Live from Boston in the U.S. Thank you for coming on RT.
Thank you very much.